Hello students, today we are going to start the poetry section of our book Flamingo. Before starting the chapter, I hope along with the textbook you also have your pen and notebook with you so that you can note down the important points and meanings of difficult words in your notebook. Let's start today's lesson. So we are going to start the poem My Mother at 66. This poem has been written by Kamala. Dear students, Kamala, known as Madhvi Kuti, was born in Malabar, Kerala and grew up in Kolkata. She was born on 31st March 1934 and died on 31st May 2009. Kamala Das' literary works are known for their originality, versatility, and indigenous flavor of the soil. She is considered a sensitive writer who captures the complex subtleties of human relationship. Now, the central idea of the poem. The poem revolves around the theme of advancing age and the fear of loss and separation associated with it. The poetess observes the declining health and old age of her mother. She felt pain and sympathy for her. The poem captures the complex subtlety of mother-daughter relationship in a very sensitive manner. So, the points to be noted is advancing age and the fear of loss and separation associated with it. Second, complex subtlety of mother-daughter relationship, which the poet writes in a very sensitive manner. Next, the poems. Dear students, now I will read the lines and then explain them, and I will also tell the meanings of difficult words and the poetic device. If any occurs, I will tell you. So the poem starts: driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. The poet says that she is on her way to the Cochin airport. Her old mother is also sitting beside her. The poetess looks at her closely. Then the next line: doge, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. The poetess sees her mother dozing, her mouth is open, her face is pale and looks like that of a dead person. The poetess realizes that her mother has grown very old and weak. Dear students, here the word doge. Doge means sleep lightly or a nap. Ashen means ash colored. Here the mother is looking pale. That's why the word ashen has been used. The third word, corpse. Corpse means the dead body. And the poetic device is in these lines is like that of a corpse. Dear students, the pale face of the mother has been compared with that of a dead body. Now we will move to the next line. But soon put that thought away, and I looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. The realization of her mother being very old makes the poet painful. She shifts her attention outside the car in order to remove the negative feeling. The scene of rapidly sprinting trees alongside the merrily playing children symbolizes life, youth, and vitality. Now, the meanings of difficult words. Put away, phrasal verb, put away. Put away means put aside, to remove, to clean up. Then sprinting, sprinting means running. Merry, happy. Spilling out of yani running out of means spreading out of homes. Dear students, when the poet sees her mother in a very stable condition and she realizes that her mother is very old and is near her end. So this realization is very painful for the poet. So to remove this painful realization from her heart, she looks outside the car, and outside the car she sees young trees and married children. So there is also a contrast in between the scene inside the car and scene outside the car. Now we will move to the next lines. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood fear. Dear students, after reaching the airport, she goes through the security check. Her mother is standing outside a few yards away. After the security check, she looks at her mother again. Her face looks pale and dim like a late winter's moon. The poetess feels the old familiar ache of her childhood. She is fearful of losing her mother. Here, the word wan. Wan means pale, dim, and the poetic device used in these lines is simile, that is as a late winter's moon. Dear students, the old mother has been compared with late winter's moon because there is a similarity between the mother and the moon. The mother is also passing through her last stage, and the late winter's moon is also passing through its last phase. So both are brightless, both are dim. That's why the poet has used the poetic device simile. Familiar ache means pain. Childhood fear means again the poet has the fear of losing her mother. Now we will move to the next line. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. Dear students, here the poet tries to hide her feelings of pain and fear. She bids goodbye to her mother. She tries to hide her painful realization by putting smile on her face and is hopeful to meet her mother again. Here the poetic device is repetition, as the word smile has been used thrice, and there is another poetic device, that is apostrophe. Amma. In a vocative case, the poet is addressing directly to her mother. That's why this is the example of apostrophe. The second, as I told you, smile, smile, smile. This is the example of repetition. Dear students, here the one important point is to be noted by you is that the poet, by putting smile on her face, is trying to hide the painful realization of separation and loss of her mother. Second, when the poet says, "See you soon, Amma," this is the optimism of the poet to meet her mother again. So, this is your poem. But students, we will have a brief look on the main points of the poem. That is, now we are summarizing the poem. The poetess drives to Cochin airport with her mother in a car. She looks at the wan, pale face of her dozing mother. Her mother was open, her mouth was open, and she resembled a dead body. She felt pain and sympathy for her. Sprinting trees and merry children provide the contrast and relief. After the security check, the old familiar ache returns in her heart. The poetess tries to hide her emotions by smiling. She bids goodbye to her mother with a hope to see her again. Now we will have a look on the poetic device used in the poem. Though I have told you the poetic device, but to revise, simile is her face ashen like that of a corpse. Dear students, the poet compares her mother's face with that of a corpse. As you know, simile is used to convey the similarity between the quality of two things. Here, the mother's face does not have any shine. That's why it has been compared with the face of a dead body. The next example of simile is as a late winter's moon. As a late winter's moon. She again compares her mother with the moon in the winter time. Like the moon in the winter season passing through its last stage, the poet's mother is also passing through the last stage of her life. Next example of poetic device is personification. And where does it occur in the poem? Let us have a look on the line. The line is young trees sprinting. Here the poet imagines the trees to be figures that are running alongside her car. Dear students, as you know, in personification, the human qualities are put in the character of other non-living things. And here, the young trees has been attributed the quality of human beings. Apostrophe, as while going through the poem, I told you the poet addresses her mother directly when she says, "See you soon, Amma." She speaks directly to her mother, addressing her as Amma. Now, the next poetic device is repetition. Next poetic device is repetition. And the example of the repetition in the poem is, "All I did was smile and smile and smile." Here you can see the word smile has been used thrice. The next poetic device is imagery. And the example is, when you were reading the poem, you saw that young trees and merry children, and as you were passing through those going through these lines, you were also having the image of young trees running alongside the road and the merry children coming out of their houses. So this is the example of imagery. Now in the end of this slot, let us have some important questions. The first question is, what is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? Then the second question is, why is the mother being compared to the late winter's moon? Third, what were the poet's feelings at the airport? How did she hide them? Next, what do the parting words of the poet and her smile signify? Next, what was the poet's childhood fear? Dear students, to know the answer of these questions, you should go through the poem and try your best to know the theme as well as the meaning of each and every line, and then you will be able to answer these questions. If you have any problem while writing the answer of these questions, please drop a message and I will try to satisfy your queries. Thank you. Have a good day.